We are recording again. All right, Obi Wan. So, I have learned a new thing about YouTube. Don't watch it. If it has
Don't
anything to
watch
do with
YouTube.
don't watch YouTube. Don't go anything. If you have any interest in watching a show, because it's not necessarily that they're wrong. It's that they're so hardcore about it. So Obi Wan, it's not perfect. It's not my favorite show. I am enjoying it, and I am refusing to watch anyone's opinion on the damn thing as I give my opinion here. And it's ridiculous how everyone's just like picking one thing and they're just like focusing on it. And I'm like, this is this is not perfect. It's not. I agree, but it's it's not bad. I'm there's times where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have went that direction with it, but you know what? No one asked my opinion, so it. But it's gotten ridiculous. Like the quartering, don't listen to him at all anymore. Heels versus babyface, not at all. All it is just ripping on Obi Wan and people talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Two things I don't want to listen to. I just want to watch my show. Um, Freaking Wednesday, Obi Wan came out. I'm all screwed up from being back on my vacation, and episode 3 came out on a Wednesday. I got home on a Tuesday, so I hadn't worked already. So I'm already confused because I work Monday through Friday, and our hotel had no windows in it, which didn't help either. That really effed me up. And all of a sudden, I'm on YouTube, and I'm like, "What do you mean you're talking about Obi Wan episode 3? What?" And the thumbnails are showing stuff. Like you don't even have to read it. The thumbnail's showing crap. Then you do read some of them because you don't realize that's what it is. And you're like, "Holy shit!" We're talking 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the thing drops. Everybody they watch it, and they're on their recording like as soon as the thing's over.
oh, it just pisses me off because I'm like, I gotta work. I can't like it's not like I can even watch it real quick, so it's not a spoiler. I'm like, I'm at work. And I just, I turn my TV's behind me when I'm working, so it's really on for noise. I don't even really hear it. It's just every once in a while. But if they say Obi Wan, I'm like, what? And I'm like, God damn it! So I turned it off. I couldn't risk it auto playing into something else. Um, it's amazing when you get used to background noise too, and you don't have it all day, how much it screws with you. So I ended up actually turning on some podcasts. Talk Troopers tends to be one of those once in a while.
So your issue is just that people are spoiling that. That's
Well,
not new.
that and it's just been real. I feel like it's been worse on this one because the show it's not the best show, and it's not the worst show. It's not as good as Mandalorian, but it's better than Book of Fett. And you know how I feel about Book of Fett.
Well,
I've said it's not the greatest, but I like Book of Fett.
there's your problem. Modern day internet movie criticism. If it's not the best thing you've ever seen, it's the absolute worst. So
Oh my god, and it's so bad. And you're absolutely right. That's what it is. It I just can't believe how just like one little thing. Some of the stuff they bitch about, I don't disagree with. It's just like, wow, holy crap! You're focusing on the fact that their shoe wasn't tied right. It wouldn't have been done that way in a galaxy
that
far, far
has
away.
been. I mean, this is the same thing where I had to argue with somebody about Jurassic Park, how the fence the T Rex broke through wouldn't fall like that. I said, despite the fact that a goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex just busted through, that you can suspend disbelief on. But
Yeah,
nope, that fence would not have fallen that way. Shove it up your ass.
yeah, yeah. It's I'm to the point now where
Lion King, a bird would not be a butler to a lion. So you're okay with singing, dancing, talking lions, but goddamn, that bird better not be serving that lion. It's not a documentary. Chill the fuck up.
and the fact that his name is Scar. What was his name before he got the scar? We don't
Unless he
have
was
it.
born with it, which I really would doubt, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no issues there. Maybe it was a C-section.
And they just dug too deep.
Yeah, but now,
Rafiki wasn't like practiced yet. He just dug too deep,
but now
and
you
that's kind of where Scar got all pissed off.
exactly. But now
Well,
you
see, now Disney Plus had this new show, 3 seasons of what happened to Scar to make him Scar.
that might be better than some of the crap that's coming out. Actually,
Disney, if you steal that idea, I'm coming for you legally.
yeah, Scar's early life. He was
Pre
actually
Scar,
bullied in high school due to his disformity.
Mufasa came out and he was all regal in his. He already had a mane because that's how it's going to be. And he's standing in the sun, and Scar comes out, and Rafiki just nicks Scar's face because he's like, "Look at Mufasa's majesticness," and it cuts Scar's face, and there the rivalry is born.
I think DreamWorks already did that. It was called Megamind.
Megamind sucked.
What?
Oh, you heard me. Megamind is junk.
You just say that because you don't like Will Ferrell.
I. It was a garbage movie. Period.
I like Megamind.
Ugh.
I thought it was funny.
I mean, there's funny parts in it, but overall, it's just dull.
I don't know.
I don't like nerfing of villains. I don't care even if they're animated.
You don't like the what?
Nerfing of villains,
What's nerfing of the villains?
nerfing them, making them soft, making them nothing.
Oh,
Like Disney did with Maleficent. She can't just be an evil, vicious person. No, she's got to be misunderstood, and she's got to have all this bullshit now. She can't just be a villain.
so I'm glad you brought that up. Remember that because I got to say, I actually liked the first Maleficent movie. I thought it was an interesting twist. But with that said, I actually agree with you. Just not on Megamind and Maleficent. But
Hey, I don't. The first, I never saw the second Maleficent because the first one's all right. It's not like a bad movie. It's just I don't like that when they Maleficent is one of the most evil villains in Disney's history. No, not no more. She's just misunderstood. She kind of got pushed into villainy. No, stop.
they kill a lot of people in the second one.
And that's kind of what like Cruella looked like too. I'm like, I'm not watching this because I know she's gonna be. She was just supposed to be an evil bitch that killed animals for her clothing. I don't need to see the backstory of how somebody screwed her over in a fashion world. I don't care.
Oh, the one with him. I never saw that one. I don't even know why she took that role. Well, probably the same reason I would have took that
Hey,
role because it was
that
offered.
Disney money says a lot of shit.
That's true. I can't. I am basically a hooker for life. I can be paid. Um,
Well, is Obi Wan like? I haven't watched it because I'm not going to, but a lot of the stuff is about that. Was that Inquisitor, that black woman?
uh, she plays a heavy role. She's one of the main characters, but that's one of the things that people are harping on. That I'm just like, why are you harping on that? It's not that big a deal. It's she's just after Obi Wan. I mean, you could have took any character and said, okay, this person's going after Obi Wan.
Is there a reason why Vader's not going after Obi Wan?
Vader's the only reason she is going after Obi Wan because she wants to be on Vader's good side.
Uh, so Vader knows Obi Wan is on Tatooine.
No
Why
spoilers.
would
We should probably say spoilers at this point because it
why
is.
would why would Vader not know, but an Inquisitor knows where Obi Wan is?
So for the last 10 years, once again, spoilers, heavy spoilers, at least for 10 minutes.
It's been up for
Uh,
2 days.
yeah, but you know how I feel about that stuff.
I understand.
So it's, keep in mind, it's not, I'm going to tell you, but let me preface it with the fact that
I already know it. I've
it's,
never watched, but I
it's
know
not,
everything.
it's not a perfect show, but it's not bad. So for the last 10 years, the Inquisitors are hunting down Jedi.
Okay,
This sixth sister or whatever they are, I don't remember all their name. It doesn't matter. But the one
they're all
that's
called that, aren't they? Because in Rebels or whatever, they're all called the Sixth
no,
Inquisitor or Sixth Sister. What weren't they?
they all have a number.
Oh, I thought they were all called the same thing.
Well, they're all sister or brother, but they all have a separate number.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Just watch Rebels again.
Yeah, actually I've been thinking about doing it. But so for the last 10 years they've been hunting down the Jedi for Vader and the Emperor. But she is I think she's the sixth sister. So the sixth sister, she's not one of them originally. She was actually an orphan rat. You know, just someone from the Jedi Temple that got away during Order 66, and she wants to be the Grand Inquisitor. She wants that power. She's power hungry, which fits fine. She's a freaking Sith basically. So or a stage below a Sith. So I mean, it works, and people have an upset. People are upset about that. I'm like, why would you be upset about someone evil wanting power? It actually kind of works.
I would be
She
more upset that Vader doesn't know where Obi Wan is.
Well, nobody knows where Obi Wan is. They're just hunting down Jedi. But she went through. So here's where I at first had a problem: is she has the Red Hot Chili Peppers kidnap Princess Leia, and Flea is the main guy
Yeah,
of the kidnappers, and Princess Leia's character, little girl, gets kidnapped, and she did it to get Obi Wan to come out of hiding. And the thing is, I had a problem with was is how did she know that? but it gets explained kind of really quickly. They didn't harp on it too much, which I like. I don't like when they have to harp on something or you have to read something else. We've talked about that before. But she makes a brief comment that explains, oh, she actually studied the history of Obi-Wan and through the Jedi temples because they have all those records now, and there was a
How did
link, and she's not an idiot, and
but Leia was born after all that. There would be no record of Leia.
it wasn't a for sure thing. It's explained decently. It's by the fact
Well,
that
she
they
sure. Well, if it's just it wasn't for sure thing, she sure nailed it right away.
it well, I think she has tried many things to
She just grabbed some random kid and oh shit, it just happens to be
oh
Leia.
she's evil. She don't care. She's like, I'm gonna try it. She goes, I see Organa has some kind of connection with Obi-Wan. I see there's a kid here around this time. They obviously are friends. Like she doesn't know it's Vader's kid. I think she thinks it's Organa's kid. She's just kidnapping the princess. She's not kidnapping a Skywalker. She's kidnapping the princess because she knows that Mr. Organa and Mr.
Wasn't it much better from in A New Hope when Obi Wan says Vader hunted down and killed the Jedi? So now that story would be Vader hired
No,
the Inquisitors.
Vader's still involved. You see
Yeah,
Vader.
he's just sending them out. Hey, go get them.
Well, no, Vader's still involved. That's kind of always been a thing. It wasn't always as Vader. Other people were sent too. That's been in the comics. That's not.
Well, how come Leia doesn't remember Obi Wan?
Why was she wrecked? All right, just settle down now. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. We don't know. That is a question that has to be fleeced
No, no,
out.
no. It's already if young Leia and Obi Wan have met already, correct? In the show,
Yes.
when she sends the message as if she's never met Obi Wan but only heard his name because she says, "You served my father in the Clone Wars." If Obi Wan and her had been through this thing, she said, like, "Hey, remember like 10 years ago when you and I had that thing? We need your help again." Why would she send the message where it says, "You served my father in the Clone Wars"? To me means she never met him. She just heard about him.
But now you're heels versus babyface in it before knowing
That's
how
the
it
bullshit.
ends.
That the only way you can explain that away is Leia gets hit on the fucking head and gets amnesia.
Well, maybe that's what happens.
That would be the stupidest thing in the world.
I don't
Of course, with
disagree.
Disney Star Wars now, maybe that is bonk. Who are you? Oh, Ben. Oh, okay.
See, my thing is I got to watch New Hope again because we don't always remember things the way we think we remember things. I mean, look at
I remember that line
Empire.
pretty vividly.
Yeah. All right, let me move on because I can't answer that one. It hasn't happened yet. But so
There's only
she,
3 episodes left, so they're gonna spend time on one of those 3 last episodes being explaining that away, which they've already fucked up.
it take 2 seconds to hit her with a rock.
Yoda's trying to. Oop, sorry, Leia. Damn.
Rock to the skull, you get. It.
Forget this, you must. Clang.
Let me kiss you. Oh wait, that's Superman. The. All right. So besides that shit, I'm not like I said. This is not
Besides the
perfect.
canon breaking shit they have to shoehorn in to make it work, yeah.
Possibly, I don't know. It's not over. See, I'm waiting till it's over to judge it.
All I'm judging is that one part because at that point it's already broken that thing. There's really nothing you can do to hand wave that away.
You aren't incorrect.
She's not a droid. You can't erase her memory. It's not going to happen.
All right, so you do know you're actually talking about part of the part where I'm saying I'm not 100% good with it.
I know,
I'm
but
just
I'm just throwing it out there because that is one thing I've not heard yet.
that's because it hasn't happened yet. Nobody, I mean, the only people talking about it are the
But it has
people who.
happened. Obi-Wan and
No.
young
I
Leia
mean
have met already.
the explanation of how that connects to 4 and how that
They're not going
goes.
to bother. They're not. They're just going to be like, eh.
Maybe I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna see.
Fine.
I'm giving
And you know what?
everything a new chance. I actually
And if
started
and if you
watching Boys again.
and if you see this, and if you see in those last 3 episodes that they explain that away, you can tell me, and I will come on here and say, "Wow, they did it. Leia's actually on her own twin or some shit, whatever."
Actually, I think I don't know if your argument's that strong. Actually, you served
How is
my
it not?
father. She might just be like, he's an old coot. I better remind him a little bit. He might not remember me as
But
a little
he
kid.
served with Anakin in the Clone Wars 20 years before this event. This would be more fresh in his mind than the Clone Wars if you're going with old coot.
How do you mean?
So Obi-Wan and Anakin served together in the Clone Wars, which takes place what 30 years before A New Hope, 40 years, whatever.
Something like that, I think. Yeah.
So the Obi-Wan saving Leia thing happens like 8 years before A New Hope. Why would she reference something 40 years ago when they just had something recently happen? If he's an old coot and forgets things.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that could be something.
My argument is strong as goddamn oak.
I don't know.
Yep. Telling you, the only way you can do that is some soap opera bullshit. The only way you can make that fit together.
No, well, all right, call it soap opera if you want, but they can do it. I mean, look at the whole droid thing. People are still picking at that, and I got over that because I got a soap opera answer for that.
The Obi
Nobody,
Wan never owned a droid.
yeah. I mean, it's a
He never
weak.
did. He never did own it.
You're correct. He didn't,
And
but
R
it's
two recognized him, so there's no hole there.
just because he did his little two-step dance doesn't
That's
mean
an
he
excited.
recognized him.
He did. He was excited. Why else would he be excited? This freaking guy could look be like a crazy hermit. Why would R2 be excited to see that guy? He recognizes him.
All right, let's stick with Leah then. I remember glimpses of her and having fun when I was young.
Hmm.
She don't remember her ma. Her ma died knocking her ass out her coochie.
Yeah, but you know what? That is so minor in the breaking of the canon. This other shit is much bigger.
We'll see.
That you can
I'm
chalk up
not.
to the
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying we got 3 more episodes to find out. Things could
and with all
change.
the and with all the threads they got hanging, they're gonna bother with that one. If in 3 movies they can't tell you, my
See,
blood pressure.
you're getting worked up over nothing. You don't know.
In 3 movies, they couldn't explain who made the goddamn map to find Luke Skywalker, even though that was the crux of the entire goddamn storyline.
That was a fever dream. I had a dream last night where I was building an arcade system, and let me tell you, I got one in my garage that's been sitting there for like
I don't have
20,000
any
years. I
faith
haven't
that they're gonna be
touched.
able to tell that thread.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will. I mean,
I'm giving
if I'm wrong,
everything.
I'm wrong,
I'm giving everything a
but I will not be
chance.
wrong.
I'm giving everything a chance because everyone's so negative on this stuff.
I don't give a shit either way. I'm never gonna watch it. It's just that kind of thing is irritating.
I mean, there's holes in everything.
Not big enough to drive a goddamn space shuttle through.
But you want me to irritate you some more then?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's the first episode. So they dropped 2 episodes at once, so I can't remember if it's the first, second
Yeah,
episode. It's the second episode. In the second episode, the Sixth Sister sends a lightsaber right through the gut of the Grand Inquisitor.
the one that's alive in Rebels.
Yes,
That takes place after.
yes.
Okay, well, there you
So,
go.
well, I'm under the assumption he survived it because they don't show anything. They don't
Well, of course,
question why she killed him. Well,
he'll
that's
show up in the very last episode and he'll be like, have a little band-aid on his tummy, like, you bitch, you
possible.
tried.
Well, possibly.
But you know what? That's not even the most far-fetched thing.
Well,
Death
no,
Maul survived
people
without
have
legs, so
survived lightsaber hits and stuff. So
Death Maul got cut in half and survived. So I mean, this
yeah.
guy, he'll survive. But that's not even that far-fetched of a thing.
But that's the thing too. People are bitching about that. It pissed me off. In fact, I got riled up about it too because they're like the actor said that he wanted to give a good performance, a fresh performance, so he intentionally didn't watch any of the Inquisitor stuff from Rebels. And I'm like, that's a bunch of shit. You got to know that character. I mean, that character, Rebels made that character. He's a great character, actually. Turns
He
out
was actually
he did
he was
watch it.
actually he was actually telling you that he was not in it much. I didn't need to do any homework because I'm in 2 scenes and I'm done.
No, he actually did watch him. He was misquoted, and
No,
and
I
people
refuse to believe
and people got up his ass about it. What the hell do I do with my Kleenex?
that. That can be easily explained because shit in this universe. I mean, if people say goddamn Mace Windu's still fucking alive, even though he got his hand chopped off and thrown out a 30-story window.
You don't know a story. There could have been a hammock, a floor below.
He lands in a pillow factory.
Plus, the hand doesn't mean anything. Luke fell down a giant goddamn chute.
It's just, well, this has more to do with the 30-foot plunge or 30-story plunge.
Luke went a ways. No one should have survived that either. I mean,
I don't think Luke intended to survive that. I think he got lucky.
you don't think so? As a kid, I'm always like, he must have like force guided himself into that chute.
No.
You just think he got lucky?
Yep. Because the point of that scene is he'd rather die than face Vader or join Vader, and that's what he did. He let go of that thinking he was going to die.
I think you're right there. Yeah, I think it wasn't so much the death part. He's just like, I will take
I
what
think I think the
I think.
suction of that, whatever that thing was, sucked him down. And when he realized he had lived, then he reached out.
See, to me, I just felt
I
like,
don't really think that was his plan. I think his plan was to die.
I think when he dropped, he didn't care if he died. I think he accepted whatever was about to happen.
Well, either way, I mean, I thought when he'd let go, he was, I'm, this is me dying. Then he got lucky with that shoot thing, or crawl with the force grabbed him, whatever the hell it is.
It doesn't matter. I I'm curious to see how the Princess Leia thing plays out too. To be honest, though, when I saw that they had Princess Leia and they kidnapped her, I was like, there could have been a better way to do this. I actually wasn't pleased with that premise at all. That's the part I actually have the biggest problem with. It's just I don't know, but so far it's been good. Other than that,
You can't involve Luke because Luke would remember this shit in A New Hope because it's only like 6 years, 7 years later.
well,
So if Luke is kidnapped, he would remember that shit.
Lars I think would turn him in if he talked to Luke. Lars already confronted him and said, "Get the fuck out of here. Stay away from my kid."
No, I mean, but if like Luke was kidnapped or something,
Yeah, well, there's a
because
scene where
they wouldn't still be on Tatooine in A New Hope then. You would think because if Luke gets returned, Owen and Beru aren't going to keep Luke on Tatooine at that point because the cover's blown. So you
yeah
can't
they
involve Luke in this shit at all,
they'd be gone. Well,
or at least Luke would be.
I don't know. Lars treats him like Lars has basically told Obi Wan just stay the hell away from him.
Which I completely understand from his point of view.
That's actually some of the best stuff. The first episode's actually really good. Part of what I have a problem with too, but it's growing on me, is Obi Wan's just a big pussy. He
Why
but
would that be interesting?
well, I didn't say it's interesting. I said it bothered me.
I
so
know,
he
I'm talking from a story point. Why would they think that was interesting?
so
God
he's
damn it, they're doing the same thing with him they did with Luke in Last Jedi, aren't they?
uh, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Ugh,
I got to
God,
see how
what?
it plays out. But here's the thing: it works with Obi Wan where it didn't work with Luke because Obi Wan he's defeated. He's like we lost, and he's just guarding now over Luke. And he told Owen at one point, saying, is he showing? He is to be trained. And Owen confronts him. He's like you did with your last pupil, like you did with Anakin, which is
Hmm.
a big bitch slap to the face. It's a pretty good scene, actually. That episode's actually really good. But like, there's this big, like, I don't know, fucking fish thing that must fly through the air. Actually, I think it's in Rebels too, but it crashed on Tatooine and they got this assembly line. They're cutting the meat out of it. It's a big factory. And that's where Obi-Wan ships out to work every day. That's how he makes his credits and stuff. And he checks on Luke at night and bullshit like that. Nothing that's bad. It's all okay. All right. Made me a little gassy, but it, and then he steals a little piece of the flying space fish or whatever every day, gives it to his little weird camel thing, anteater thing. And that's all pretty good, but he's defeated. Like, there's a Jedi. So the Inquisitors end up on Tatooine because there's reports of a Jedi. And at first you are questioning if it's Obi-Wan, but it turns out it's not. It's actually another Jedi that a younger one. You pretty much assume he was a Padawan that never officially became a Jedi.
Sure.
And he tracks down Obi-Wan. He recognizes Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan basically tells him, he goes, if I was you, I'd take your lightsaber, go out to the middle of the desert and bury it. And he told him, he goes, I can't help you. And he goes, what about the war? And he goes, we lost the war. It's over. Like, it's a very defeated scene, but it's actually
Hmm.
not a bad scene. I just didn't like it because I wanted to see Obi-Wan as we're gonna win this shit still. But it grows on you a bit, and then Princess Leia gets captured, and then Organa comes down to Tatooine to say, hey, you got to go get her. You're the only one I can trust doing it, which makes sense. He is the only one that they can trust doing it. And
How come everybody knows where Obi-Wan is, but nobody knows where Yoda is?
I think they do know where Yoda is.
Well, who has Yoda?
That fucker ain't getting anywhere without being seen. At least Obi-Wan can put a hood on. Yoda's got those ears. You can't put a hood on that stuff. He ain't get. Look at the little guy. It
He just has to be strapped to some bounty hunter's back. Nobody looked twice.
That's true. It yeah, Yoda. It Yoda don't have a lightsaber anymore. But the yeah, so he ends up on this other planet, and some things happen there where I was just like, all right. And then he finds out about Anakin. The Sixth Sister says
What
something
do you
to him.
mean?
Obi-Wan doesn't know Anakin's alive.
How does he not know?
Why would he know? He left him for dead. Assumed he died. He's been on Tatooine just watching Luke.
aren't they hiding Luke and Leia so he doesn't find them?
They're hiding him so the Empire doesn't find him.
So Yoda was under the impression that Anakin was dead too.
I don't think I don't think Yoda and I think they all knew Yoda went to Dagobah, including Chewie, because he gets on that little, ET pod at the end of episode 3. But
Yeah, but that pod doesn't take him to Dagobah. That takes him to Coruscant.
is that where it took it to? Oh yeah, it
Because
did. Yeah,
after
because that's
because
when he
after
left
Kashyyyk,
Kashyyyk. Yeah,
he
yeah,
goes
you're
to
right.
fight the Emperor.
I think they all knew where they. Well, so yeah, Chewie maybe didn't know where he ended up, but I always was under the assumption everyone knew where everybody went because that's how
I
Obi
would
Wan and the
assume
Empire knew to tell him to go to Dagobah.
I assume Obi-Wan knew where Yoda was, and Yoda knew
Yeah,
where Obi-Wan was. But other than that, like, why would Senator Organa know where Yoda is?
maybe he didn't. Maybe he only knew where Obi Wan was.
Okay, makes sense. But I'm still thinking, like, I don't know. Why didn't I? If Yoda knew Anakin was alive, why wouldn't he tell Obi-Wan?
I don't know if Yoda knew though, because you got to think about Yoda's on. You would think Yoda would know because of his
Yeah,
power,
but
but other than that,
Yoda was more powerful and connected to the Force than Obi-Wan was even. So
unless Yoda knew Vader was Anakin, but just was like, he's dead. Anakin doesn't exist anymore. Kind of like how, and that would actually kind of make some sense if that was a communication. Kind of like how in episode 4, actually, it would probably explain this a little better too, where he so brazenly just went, Vader killed your father, where he came to accept that it's not
well,
Anakin
that part.
anymore.
See, I never had a problem with that line. I got that part.
No, I'm not
Because
saying that was a problem. I'm saying
technically,
that
Anakin
it
is dead.
it makes it stand up even more. Maybe Yoda did know that that was Anakin
That could be.
and just said, you know what, fuck it, that's not Anakin, that's Vader. And as far as Obi-Wan's
But,
concerned, Yoda
well, he
never
did
said
tell.
anything to him.
Well, he told him that in Episode 3, consumed by Darth Vader.
Yoda.
Yeah, because when Obi-Wan's like, I can't fight him, he's my brother. He's like, the boy you trained to go on, he's consumed by Darth Vader. So I mean, Yoda was already.
Yeah, so that would explain why Yoda never said anything to Obi-Wan then. Actually, it would stand up stronger because
I
that.
I still think Yoda would have.
Actually, I think it
Hey,
stands
just
up.
so you know, while you're there and protecting his son, yeah, Vader's still alive and could be looking for you guys. Keep your head up.
Who's to say Anakin wasn't so weak and almost dead that you couldn't feel him anymore?
Well, no, there is the.
You could write that
in-
one off a million
Well,
different
in
ways.
there is the ring theory that because if you listen to Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin is on the table and he's getting all the armor on and Padme's dying, the soundtrack has two heartbeats,
Yeah,
Padme and Anakin. And when the Vader comes on, the helmet goes down,
yeah, you
both
hear
heartbeats stop,
yeah.
and then when he breathes, it's just one heartbeat because he sucked the life out of Padme to save himself. That he is now Vader.
And that might have been his full turn.
That that's
That would be his full turn, I would imagine.
because when the Emperor tells him that whole thing, really bitches about this. But you gotta pay attention. He's like, Padme was alive. I felt it. Oh, and you're angry. You killed her. Well, he did. He sucked the life out of her to save himself.
So this all does excuse Yoda not knowing
I
that.
mean, maybe I'm just working this out now.
No, I like this. This is that I think that would excuse Yoda not telling Obi-Wan because he didn't even know to an extent. I think he knows. I actually would excuse Yoda for not telling Obi-Wan.
I still would think a heads up would have been like, hey, just
It would have been nice, don't get me wrong.
Vader's still alive and he might look for you guys. So just keep your eyes open. Don't take any overtime at the dead whale.
It it definitely would have been a nice mention.
I mean, since he told them how to commune with Qui-Gon and all that.
So that's an interesting thing too. He's trying to. Obi-Wan's trying to communicate with Qui-Gon and it's not working for him. He's I think in so I think
He
looking
will
back at it,
by the end of the series. He'll get reconnected to the Force fully, and he'll meet
I think
Qui-Gon.
I think that's what's going to save Obi-Wan from Darth Vader. They've already met. They met in the 3rd episode.
And they didn't fight.
Oh, they did.
So what bird came in and saved Anakin or Obi-Wan?
One of the rebel people.
Yeah, of course.
It actually was not badly done. I was waiting to tell you that.
So Obi-Wan completely defeated, completely like not really digging the Force right now. Still holds his own against super powerful Darth Vader
He
at his
does.
height,
He does not.
but he's not dead.
Nope. And it was well done. It's one of the things I
That makes
actually.
absolutely no fucking sense.
No, it
So
does.
some stinking rebel comes in and stops him. Bullshit.
Nope,
Vader
not
pulled his
it
spine out.
wasn't it wasn't that simple. It wasn't that simple. So I didn't like it at first. And as the battle kept going, I'm like, oh, this is not bad. Anakin didn't go to kill him. He went to torture the shit out of him before he killed him. So he starts burning him.
Stalling for time
There's got to be
so he can
plot
be
armor and
saved.
everything. You know that.
Yes, I
I could
understand.
find any movie and bitch about that part. It's it no, it makes sense. Once he starts burning him and start bitching at him like the whiny Anakin person, you're like, oh, this is actually because when the battle starts, you're just like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. You're like, this is over. This should be over right now. And then all of a sudden you see why it's not. And you're like, oh, he wants to burn him. He wants to hurt him. He didn't
Like
just
he
go
did
to kill
him.
him. In fact, I don't think he even wanted to kill him. I think he wanted to just torture the shit out of him until he died.
Burn him like he did him on Mustafar.
Exact. And that's the part where you're like, oh, this battle is good. That was the moment where it turned for me. I'm like, oh, okay. Because it starts out where Obi Wan won't even light his lightsaber. He's scared shitless. Like he's running away. And Darth Vader's like walking through the city. It's been over
That's so
10
odd
it's been
because
over 10 minutes. So we're still talking spoilers. Go away for 10 more minutes. It's
it's just so odd because that is not the way Obi-Wan left Revenge of the Sith.
yeah, but it's 10 years and he's been hiding. Yeah, I had a problem with it too. I had a problem with it too, but it at this point it took episode 3 at this point for me to actually be okay with it. I was not okay with it up until that point. Cuz so Anakin or not Anakin. So Bruce Campbell, well, Ash Williams, I mean Obi-Wan because it's the same goddamn character arc. He's a coward. He's a beaten coward. And then they get to this part where there's this one person who is working with the rebels, the Underground Railroad, if you want to say. They have this hidden area, and they've actually hauled Jedi out this thing. There's a little comment about it. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. Doesn't wreck the story. Doesn't do anything bad. And they're going through these tunnels to a hangar where they're going to get away. And Vader shows up, and Anakin feels it. Like it kind of like after like if I had too much ice cream, I just buckle over and got a shit. Like he looks like he's in pain, and he just says, "Take her, go," and he goes back and he's looking out the window, and you see the scene where, or he comes down like the street. It's when I say street, it's like just dirt ground and stuff like Star Wars shit, and it's not a bad scene. You see everybody's respecting his ass. They're like, we're not screwing with him. And as Vader goes by, he just picks someone up. Another person just snaps their neck, grabs another girl. He's drinking. Like he's screwing with people down the street, killing them because he knows Obi-Wan's there. And Obi-Wan knows Vader's there because they can feel each other now. And he's dragging it. He's trying to bait him. And Obi-Wan comes outside and kind of looks. And all of a sudden, Vader's head turns that direction. Obi-Wan's not there anymore. He's running, and then Vader, Michael Myers, his ass over to where Obi-Wan is, and then the saber ignites. It's a pretty dark scene. So you just got a red glow, and Obi-Wan's just crapping himself, and Vader's just bitching. Anakin is just bitching at him. It's personal. And that's where you start understanding that he's not there to kill him. He's there. I mean, he wants him dead, but he doesn't want it to be quick. He's pissed off that he doesn't have a dick or balls anymore, or hair, or arms or legs. He didn't have the high ground. It's his fault. And so there's a scene where Obi-Wan finally ignites his saber, and you're like, all right, here we go. Nope. Anakin whoops the shit out of him. Force chokes him. He knocks this canister of stuff down because it's a mining place. it makes sense. At first, I was like, "What? That was convenient," but then I got thinking about it. I'm like, "Well, he has the Force. He was able to put it there. It's not like it just fell there." And he knocks this shit over, and he ignites it and starts this fire. And you're kind of like, "Why the hell did he start this fire?" He just put a fire between him and Obi-Wan. But he takes Obi-Wan and starts force dragging him into the fire. He's like burning his shoulder and stuff. And I'm sitting here going, all right, this is losing it for me. I get it, but it's losing it for me because he doesn't have burns in the thing. But throughout it, it turns out he just gets his shoulder burnt because it gets interrupted. The person who went to take Leia to the hangar says, here, take this, get on the thing, get out of here. She goes back. And she's up on a ridge. She can't be seen. Vader puts out the fire and says, bring him to me. And he's burnt up pretty bad on his shoulder and stuff, where you wouldn't see it in the future one, so it's all right still. And the stormtrooper is going to get Obi-Wan, and the chick was trying to save Leia and stuff shoots the stormtrooper. No big deal. She had the time. She aimed. It's realistic still. I mean, as far as laser swords and crap go. And and then everyone's looking around because I mean it was just one blaster bullet. It was she's hidden, and then she shoots the place where the fire was again, and it reignites it. And there's a robot involved that comes out, and the robot's actually kind of cool. But the robot comes out and grabs Obi-Wan, and so does the girl. She gets down there, and my assumption is this is towards the end of the episode. So the sixth sister kills the hangar guy because she went after Leia because she knows Leia's her meal ticket to keeping Obi-Wan in order to get to where she wants to be. Because the other Inquisitors, they don't like her. She's not the same as they were because she's just like an orphan child kind of thing, even though they all are really at the end of the day. But so my belief right now, until I watch the fourth episode, is Vader let them take Obi-Wan because he could have very easily stopped it. He showed he had the power to do it, but he's pissed. It was actually turned out to be like I should rewatch it because I think I'd enjoy it a second time better now knowing that he's not there to kill him. He was there to just
So at this
he.
point, I would assume that Vader is now reconnected to Obi-Wan and can feel him no matter where he is.
That might be another reason why he just let him go.
So, but he never finds him at Tatooine.
Well, you got to remember though, he doesn't feel Obi-Wan until he's on the Death Star. So I don't know if they have to be on the same planet. They're not on Tatooine. Tatooine's only the first two
I
episodes,
understand
and
that,
then
but
it's gone.
I mean, once you feel him, like you reconnect like that, you'd think that you would feel, even if you're like in a narrow vicinity.
I would think so. I would think that's why Vader had no problem letting him go.
So he just never comes back to his Tatooine, his home planet,
No,
never
that
gets near it.
no, the episode ended at that point.
I understand that, but I'm trying to fill in the gaps here.
Well, no, so Vader never knew he was on Tatooine.
Yeah, but now that he's been in Obi-Wan's presence again, wouldn't he be like when your Wi-Fi, when you get near your Wi-Fi, you reconnect?
Oh, sure, but Vader never goes to Tatooine
Why?
that we know of. Well, why would he?
It's his home planet.
And he hated it.
So why are you not? I mean, yeah, but he doesn't have to go back. Okay, if he's sending out these Inquisitor sisters, why would you not send people to the Outer Rims and just look around?
Well, so the Inquisitors up until now thought Obi-Wan was dead. They were getting pissed at the Sixth Sister
Yeah, but
for
now that they
even.
know he's alive, the hunt would be like really revved up.
I can tell you after next week.
Yeah, okay.
I get what your point is. I don't know because
Yeah, I'm
that
just trying
hasn't
to think of
happened.
like where they would be going with this, but with the Leia thing, it doesn't matter anymore because they fucked it up anyway.
You might be right.
Canon, I'll be damned, fucking kill them both. Who cares? Canon is done.
Well, all right. So anyone to
So at
jump
the at
back
the
in, still more spoilers. Go away for 10 more minutes.
at the end of Episode 6, it turns out Obi-Wan was killed. Luke and Leia were killed, but a random rebel was on Exegol and got some of the cloning tanks. Boom.
Camino, you mean?
Nope, Exegol.
What's that place?
That's the one in Rise of Skywalker where the Snoke clones were. Because we can't use Camino anymore because Exegol will connect to the sequels.
Well, Camino got destroyed, and
Yes.
the sequels were all fever dreams. I've already told you this.
Oh, I understand, but I'm just saying this is how they're gonna connect them. Even that fever dream, and it's canon. So yeah, this random rebel who had no role just shows up. I got these cloning tanks. Well, thankfully we have these bloody rags from when Vader killed these three. Toss them in the thing. Now we got them.
Oh, she's not a random rebel. I mean,
No, no, this will
I
be
guess
this
she
will be a random
technically
rebel.
is, but
No, that one's gonna be die, and then there'll be a random one at the end because then that spins off. See, you got to think 10 movies ahead, and this is the where it's gonna spin off, where that random rebel becomes a character. You see,
maybe.
on a blue milk farm, she is growing the clones of Obi Wan, Luke, and Leia. Now, the reason this takes a little longer is she has to grow them to where they are in A New Hope because it has to connect.
I don't know. It's pretty. I'm I'm gonna rewatch the first three because I.
Now, remember, somehow Palpatine returns.
Oh God, that was so horrible. But it well, Palpatine can return in this one. He's alive in this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's how ridiculous this
Oh,
spin-off bullshit is gonna get.
it.
Cassian Andor, he died when he was like 24. Why the fuck do we need 2 seasons of this guy's life before we met him? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, that.
He didn't die when he was 95 and he had all these fucking adventures. He was 24 when he died. What the hell could there be left to tell?
He might have had some adventures.
Hey, and guess what happens to him
He gets some on the beach. Isn't that the dream?
as he blows up? So anything that happens to him in the show, there's no stakes. There's
We never
oh
saw
no,
him
he's in
die.
peril. Give me a break. Yes, you did.
I know. I just wanted to get you riled up. I just want to see if I can get that cam to turn red again.
Now the force of the blast was so extreme it launched him and Jyn Erso off onto other planets. So we can spin her off too, because she was so interesting.
I actually. Well, you didn't like Rogue One. I was okay with Rogue One.
Rogue One should have been 25 minutes long, and that's generous because Galen Erso should have included the Death Star plans in his message.
I thought they were included, but she lost the thing.
I no, because otherwise they wouldn't have to go to the thing.
No, I
No, because
thought.
the message was with the guy. She had nothing to do with that. The
Yeah,
message was with that dude.
they were. Yeah, and they were playing the message there, and then the Death Star shot that planet, just partial shot, and they had to escape, and she didn't take the puck with. She left. That's
No,
why
she had
she
already
couldn't.
watched the message then. They'd already watched the message.
But no, only she watched it, and we didn't see the whole watching of it. Because remember, she's trying to tell them on the ship, like, "Yeah, my dad didn't do it," and they're like, "Yeah, screw you, he did it." Like they didn't believe her.
I remember seeing where they're all watching him talk. I'm like, why aren't
No,
the
it was just
plans
Forrest
included
Whitaker
here?
and her.
I slept through most of it.
Well, that's your fault then.
Still, well, that couldn't hold my interest. Then why I care? I don't.
It
I thought
wasn't
there
the
was a scene
best
where they
movie,
all
but I
were
liked
watching
it.
it.
It was all right. The Obi Wan, I think, I actually really like what they did with Darth Vader. I was surprised because at first I wasn't. I was like, well, when he first shows up on the street, I'm like, this is the third episode. This is too soon, first of all, because there's no way they're portraying Obi Wan as someone who can beat him. And then I'm like, oh, this is where fucking Liam Neeson's gonna come in and save him, kind of like the chick saved Conan O'Brien, Conan the Barbarian, and as a ghost. But I'm like, oh, this is too soon. So I was a bit upset. But then
But wouldn't Qui-Gon showing up there made it better? I think that would have given Vader pause.
maybe it was the third episode. I'm like, how do you drag it out
But
from there?
but seeing Qui-Gon again and Qui-Gon appealing to Anakin, I think would have given Vader pause and
Oh,
allowed Obi-Wan to escape.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
like if Qui-Gon Jinn's ghost shows up, first of all, they don't know about Force ghosts yet, so that would be like a
That's
knock
that's true because
to,
he's the
to
first
Anakin.
one in
Yeah,
centuries.
since yeah. So him seeing Qui-Gon as a ghost standing there appealing to him would have given Vader like a knockback enough so that Obi-Wan could escape. It would have made more sense than some random chick shooting a barrel.
Yeah. Well, the barrel with the fire. Well, she shot the shit that was on the ground from the barrel, but it that part actually wasn't as weak as I probably made it sound. That part was all right. But I see what you're saying. That would work. I think the fire is what gave excuse for them to get away. Even though I think Vader let them get away. I think he was just like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. I can feel you now. It
But if you can feel them, if they
well,
have to be on the if they have to be on the same planet for him to feel them, what was the point of letting them go?
Because it's that Vader thing. He's
Because you
always
know he's gonna not be on that planet anymore. So if you have to be on the same planet as that person to feel them, I wouldn't let him go.
that's next
The game's
episode.
over. I made my fucking point. Snap.
That's the next episode, though. Well, that's the thing. I don't think he wanted to kill because he could have. He was force choking and lifting Obi-Wan in the air.
I get the torturing him part because of what he did to him, but as he's escaping, the game's over. Kill him and be done with it.
I don't disagree. I'm just like there's more to it at this
It's
point.
just so much padding.
There's padding in it,
They had to have
but the
Vader and Anakin, or they had to have Vader and Obi Wan meet because you have to. You know, it doesn't
revenge
make any
part though
sense.
is beautiful. It was once
The
you
revenge
realize
part is
he's not
fine,
there to kill him.
but the game's over. If he's escaping, and if you can't feel him unless you're on the same planet, you got to kill him.
Well, one we don't know how the feeling works though, and the other one is Vader doesn't probably see it as they're escaping. It's just an inconvenience. He wants Obi-Wan to suffer. He is
Which you
not
already
there to
had him.
kill him.
You saw the terror in his eyes. You saw him that you had him dead. You got what you wanted.
You're talking about a guy who killed all the younglings though in the Jedi Temple, and now you just witnessed him walk down the street. He didn't kill old people. He killed old people and young people while he's walking down the street.
No, I know, and I said you saw the terror in Obi Wan's eyes. You had him dead to rights. You had him first choked. You dragged him through fire. I mean,
Wasn't enough. That's the beauty of it. That's the part I liked. It
so
wasn't
there's going to be
enough.
another goddamn fight between them before the show ends. Then,
Well, there has to be.
and that, God,
You would
I,
have liked it. Out
how do
of
you
all the
how do
parts,
you
you
do
would
it
have liked
again?
that part.
Maybe it sounds like it was filmed well. I just don't understand how you do
Actually, the
that
filming
again.
was beautiful. They even did some of the
How do you
staggering frames that I
how do
like.
you fucking plot armor that again?
I don't know. It was still done well. Oh, come on. The original Star Wars 4 through 6 is all plot armor.
I don't know.
You
Luke gets
got to you
pretty.
got to be able to suspend that. We just talked about that before.
Let's see. Luke gets his hand chopped off. He gets his face shredded by a motorcycle slash wampa.
Well, that's because his dumbass crashed his car.
I'm just saying. They had to film that. Luke getting his face slashed.
Who's to say that scene would have ever happened if Luke knew how to drive?
Well, it wasn't. It was supposed to be wampas in the Hoth base, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, there was a scene. If you
The
watch it,
3PO
the
like
sign is
tears
still on.
the yeah.
Yeah, it's sign. But if you watch, that sign is still on the door. He just doesn't tear it off. Yeah, I thought there was issues with how it looked too, though, and they just didn't like how it looked, which is why it's
I don't think
filmed
I
but
don't,
not
well,
used.
it's like the Wookiee thing in Jedi. They couldn't afford all the costumes.
Yeah, which actually the Ewoks are pretty cool. So
I have no problem with the Ewoks.
I don't either. But I mean, there's some plot armor right there alone. I mean, you gotta suspend a bit.
Okay, fine. I'll give them to him once
It
in the same show twice. Vader and Anakin, and Vader is pissed off as he is against Obi Wan. Is he gonna let him go again?
well, it's story arc though. That's why I called him Ash Williams. I mean, you got to
You
go
already know
get the.
how his story arc goes.
He's got to come back the hero. I mean,
Not now,
why not?
Darth Vader.
No, not Vader. Obi-Wan.
Well, but if he meets Vader again, I mean, what the fuck now? Oh, what?
Maybe what you
Turns out that fire wasn't very hot.
maybe what you said with Klingon happens.
If it does again, I want credit. I know they've already filmed them, but I want credit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, keep in mind this stuff's been filmed already because there's already the bitch about the first episode's 5 minutes. People are all upset, going, "There should be a warning." There was a freaking warning. There's a warning on every show, whether it's television or streaming, of a rating. No one pays attention to them. Everyone lets their kids watch whatever the
A
frick they
warning.
want without talking to them.
That because it's violent.
Oh, it was. Don't get me wrong. It was a beautiful open. Don't get me wrong. What happened in Texas, well, anytime there's a shooting of that magnitude that kids are involved, because kids to me are still innocent. It the corruption has already started, but they're innocent, which I'm pretty sure Star Wars covers actually. But that's a travesty. So what I'm about to say does not make light of that situation. But when it starts in the Jedi Temple, you feel the pressure. It was very well done. It was a great way to open that up because it's not supposed to be a happy go lucky. Like if I could take all 9 of the movies and make a half an hour movie that might let these idiots on Twitter not be triggered when they watch it. It'd basically just be all the smiling scenes of people meeting each other in the movies. and no fighting at all. Because they're all upset. They're like, how did Disney do this? Well, they filmed it a friggin' year ago. No, this travesty didn't happen yet. What do you want them to do? Have them come in, have the stormtroopers come in, and it looks like they're shooting flowers at everyone? No kid dies. I get the Jedi chick who dies protecting the one group of kids. She dies protecting the kids, and I get the correlation between the teacher who died trying to, we're assuming was trying to protect the kids, but at the same time, that was never an intentional move in the script. That just happens to be coincidence.
No, remember everything's filmed now. It's all live.
Yeah,
All
and
these shows were filmed 3 months ago or 3 days ago,
yeah, that was filmed like a year ago.
at least.
Yeah, if not longer. Yeah, because I think COVID. Actually, I thought COVID actually delayed some of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they put a warning on it. There you go. What
Well,
do you want to do?
everything
Cut the
has a
episode up?
warning. In fact, how many times have you watched something that says partial nudity and it turns out there isn't any, and you're like, what the fuck? Why'd you even put that
Or
up
it's
there?
like an ass crack. You're like, come on.
Yeah,
That's it.
I watched this for nudity. Where is it? Or it's
If I
a
see partial nudity, I'm out because then you know it's not gonna be any good.
yeah, or it's a dude, and you're like, what? I watched this for that.
I watched for a hairy,
I could look at
pale,
the
hairy male ass.
I could look in the mirror for that shit.
Yeah.
I carry one of those.
Well, it's like the Thor trailer with Thor's bare ass.
Yeah,
You're like, okay,
that's okay though.
that's fine. Well, it's like somebody pointed out because I think I didn't watch the trailer, but somebody pointed out, I thought, what is it? Natalie Portman or somebody makes a joke about it, like, oh wait, let's just take our time getting down there.
No, the chick that had the threesome with Waki,
Oh yeah,
who got her
Valkyrie,
rolled that way. Thompson, Leah,
Tessa Thompson. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
she said she makes a joke about it. Somebody said reverse that. Have Chris Hemsworth up there and Natalie Portman bare ass and make that joke. That doesn't go over well at all.
You know, the funny thing is, the scene's kind of funny. Actually, I did watch it, and I find it funny because I'm doing my best not to get to be on the other side of it. Because you got the one side that gets offended by everything.
I'm not offended by it. I'm just saying this
No,
is somebody made this point. Yeah,
I'm not
somebody
saying
made this
you
point
are.
that just flip the two. Have Natalie Portman standing there bare ass and Thor makes some kind of comment.
Oh,
That would thing would be taken down instantly.
people would be so
Yeah,
upset. Oh no,
but
I agree with you. People would be so upset.
yeah,
And the
I'm just saying
problem
this is
is
what
they're
this is where
looking
this
for it.
bullshit is.
Yeah, and you know what? Sadly, it's kind of a funny scene. It's like a little 80s throwback because you would see that crap in the 80s all the time. That's all the 80s was one-liners and blood and gore and awesomeness. It
That one scene alone, even if it gets a chuckle out of you, that's the tone of the entire movie, which is why I'm not like super excited about it.
well, Waki or whatever, he shouldn't. I'm gonna say he did help the Thor franchise because let's face it, Thor 2, as much as I enjoyed it, was not the best. It Ragnarok I liked. It just became too much. It's like sugar. Most people like candy, but
Yeah,
after a while, it starts to hurt your fucking teeth.
which is probably what that's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm really worried about it. It works for Guardians. It
But
doesn't
see, yeah,
work.
they're trying to like apply the Guardians thing to everything now. It's just like no, it's not. It doesn't work for everybody.
I'm wondering though, and I think I've mentioned the fulcrum thing in the past. I'm wondering if there's going to be a fulcrum, like a teeter, where Ragnarok was really bad, and we're going to start out with the Guardians, so it's going to go there,
Yeah,
but hopefully James Gunn's influence is good, and then there will be a fulcrum where on the teeter totter where it's going to click over and go back to darker, or is Waki or Kurg, whatever the hell you want to call him, is he going to just train wreck it to the end? Part of me kind of wants him to train wreck it to the end. I kind of want this all to be over with.
they hired him to do a sequel. It's gonna be more of the same, and if not more, like extra. Like they're gonna really lean into it this time.
You're probably right. I wouldn't argue that. I just I'm trying to be more hopeful. I'm trying to be a better man.
Christian Bale, as cool as I am, I saw a picture of him. It's just Christian Bale in gray face makeup,
Oh, it's the machinist.
pretty much skinny ass Christian Bale with gray paint on his face.
He's supposed to be like one of the most powerful freaking people. He's a god
Yeah,
fighter.
and he'll kill gods in the beginning.
Yep.
and he'll die in a really jokey, shitty way at the very end.
Probably by sunlight.
Something stupid, yeah. Just be like, oh, he slips and falls on his own sword or something, and they'll laugh.
The thing is,
Some god killer, ha har har.
I don't even care for the whole Jane Foster thing, and I'll admit in the trailer, I think she looks all right. I'm like, how bulked up is she gonna really look? And people are just not happy with that. I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ, let's at least watch it. But I mean, there's some predictions we can make, like it's gonna be a joke all the way through, which is gonna suck. I think Natalie Portman's gonna do a fine job. I don't think she'll be the weak link.
The weak link is not going to be an actor.
No, well, I'm not a Tessa Thompson fan. I don't hate her.
She's fine.
She's just she's vanilla. She's just she's there.
Well, Natalie Portman can be that way too, where she doesn't give a shit.
Well,
Not as bad as
that
not as
was the
bad as
second
Scarlett
one.
Johansson. Not as bad as Scarlett Johansson. Just looks bored out of her ass in almost all the Marvel movies. But
Well, she's always been that way, though. I mean, she was okay in that boxing movie with Josh Hartnett, Black
oh, Dahlia,
Dahlia. Yeah,
boxing movie. Yeah, I but I mean, like Black Widow, just she's fine to start, and then it's like, does she even give a damn? Like Civil War, she's just kind of like,
yeah,
look at all
yeah.
this. But I mean, it's not an actor's not gonna be the weak link of Thor: Love and Thunder.
No, I think Chris Hemsworth is actually. I almost enjoy everything with him in it. I'm probably one of the few people who like Thor too. It. I think he'll be fine.
Like I said, the cast is gonna be fine. Russell Crowe being there for 10 seconds and get killed by Christian Bale. Yeah,
Oh, you know he's dying.
right away because he's the God Killer, and that's how he'll flex his muscles and he'll kill off that pantheon. And like I said, at the end, he'll slip on a marble and bang his head on the table, and he's dead.
Yeah, he'll go out like um, what's that Clint Eastwood movie? The boxing one. Everything's a
Oh,
boxing movie.
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby, yeah. You know, I've never seen that movie. I was flipping through the channels one day and just caught the end. I'm like, well, I guess that's done for me.
Yeah, but yeah, he'll go out some way like, oh, didn't move the chair. Well, he's dead
Yep. Yeah, I should have threw the towel
because
in.
he's not a franchise villain. He's a one and done, just like the rest.
Yeah, something fresh needs to be done. So I've gone through my Amazon Prime list. I got a bunch of horror movies I've added on there. Some are pretty independent, so they're probably gonna suck, but I put them on anyways because the trailer looked decent. I
Don't tell me it's that elevated horror shit.
elevated. What's elevated?
The
You know,
thing Scream 5 tried to lampoon, but they didn't have the balls.
no, this is other stuff. We found an
The
abandoned house in a cornfield.
those the good schlocky shit. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, they're all the same. It's just how it happens. I put Strangers on there. I still not seen Strangers.
I haven't seen the first one. I saw the second one.
Strangers? You
Yeah,
didn't
Pray at
see the
Night.
Liv Tyler one?
No,
Oh, I want to see that one. It looks good. I like when she goes, "Why are you doing this?" And the
you were
youngest of them
home.
are like, "Cause you were home." I'm like, that's a great line. That's a you're fucked because there's nothing personal here. We're just doing this.
Yeah,
So I want to see that. God, what else did I put on there? I put a bunch of stuff on there though. I'm like, you know what? This looks pretty good. I watched a lot of trailers today. It that's
there's not
actually
much coming, but there's a couple good ones that look like they might be good coming out.
well, a lot of these are older things that just didn't really hit the theater or anything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give them a chance because I'm so sick of watching. Like, what was it? It was that's why I actually couldn't start until 8 tonight because of the monitor and stuff. And then I got delayed because I was watching trailers after work. But there was God, what was it? I don't remember what it was, but there was one quartering I did put on because he still pops in my damn feed. And I turned it on and I'm like, you know what? You're bitching a lot. I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go find movies to watch. It. I'm pretty much at the point now where if someone bitches about a movie, like a bunch of people bitch about a movie, I'm willing to watch it just to see. Just because I'm finding
Depends why they're bitching.
well that's true, but it's kind of like the Natalie Portman thing. Like they're all like, oh she looks horrible. Well, you know what? You haven't seen the movie. You've seen 2 clips of her in the suit. You don't know. You've seen some still pictures. Those aren't even processed yet. You don't know it. And I've done it myself too. I've been guilty of it, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it a.
That movie's gonna come down to writing and tone.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm ready for it. I'll watch it.
I'm just burned out on that constant stream of content.
Unless Angie buys the tickets or something, it's the last movie I'll probably see from Marvel in the theater. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if I will. I might wait for that one too. I
I'm gonna
want to
wait and
see.
see what's heard about that one. I'll see Guardians for sure.
I'll see that one. Yeah, I forgot about that one. The I still. You've already seen this one, but the Northman or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I want to see that still. I put that
yeah,
on my
that's
list today.
fantastic.
It
The Nicolas Cage one is good too.
oh, that's I gotta put that on my list too. I want to see that. I was kind of hoping to see that one in the theater still.
That's
It's
gone.
no, I think it's still up here,
Oh, is it?
unless it just left.
It might have less for
Yep.
Top Gun.
Oh fuck, that's right. I do want to see Top Gun too.
That is really good.
I hate Tom Cruise, but I do love him as an actor.
Yeah, I don't care about his personal life.
Yeah, so that one. So there are some good ones I want to see. Everyone's saying the same thing, like you said. It's pretty much the perfect reboot without pandering too much to the original. Like
Like
just enough
they
to make
show
it
they show
right.
clips of the original, but it's more to do with Maverick's headspace where he is, and the whole movie's about letting go of the past. So he's still in guilty about Goose and all that. So I mean, the clips they show are about Maverick's guilt, so it works.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. It yeah. Other than that, I got video games to play, but there's not. There actually is a lot of good movies coming out, but I don't know. It's not as
I got.
much like when I was in the '80s. Everything was good.
Well, I think back on some of these weeks in the '90s was like a string. Once May, you rode that all the way to like November.
Yeah,
I mean, there was kind of a duller part in September usually, but that ramped right up again.
we don't get good writing anymore. Like Departed and what was the other one we watched right around that time too with Hugh
Prestige,
Jackman? Prestige. Those were like, I think we saw Departed twice and Prestige once, all within a week span.
something like that.
That was just good writing. And then you had the other Prestige, The Illusionist. That one
Oh,
was
Illusionist, yeah,
I
that was
watched
good
that
too.
one later on DVD, I will admit, but I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this was actually pretty good." That was back when you got two movies that were the same all the time.
Oh, Deep Impact and Armageddon and
Yeah.
Dante's Peak and Volcano, Bugs Life and Ants.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think. God, that was good times back then. Now everything's just what can we regurgitate in franchise? What can
Well,
we
everything's
Fortnite the
assembly
shit
line
out
now.
of?
Yeah, everything's assembly line now.
Yeah, the problem is people keep getting it though.
And
As,
like that's all they do.
as long as they keep making their money, they're gonna keep.
Exactly.
It's
And
gonna get
everybody lines
churned.
up for them. Every Marvel movie breaks records in the box office. They're not going to stop.
Well, they send it to China. That's how they're doing it.
China doesn't want this shit.
Yeah, but they're still getting money from them.
Like they pissed. Look at Top Gun. China's like, it's too pro-American.
Oh
So
yeah,
Top Gun's like, okay, we'll put the Taiwanese flag back on his jacket.
I'm glad they did that. Part of me is actually kind of curious if they just took it off to just shut everyone up so they could finish the movie, and with the intentions of always putting it back on.
Well, I mean, they probably were ready for like China to say, nah, okay, put it back on.
Yep, I'm glad they did. They shouldn't
Hell
cater
yeah.
to them. I get it; it's $1 billion coming out of there, but
Not always because they don't support everything anymore.
they don't support anything. They don't like
I mean,
gay people. They don't like black people. They don't like Uyghurs. That's for sure. They don't like anything pro-American except for our
which
money.
brings us back to the Obi Wan criticism real quick. Because a week before that show came out, they're like, just be ready. They told that woman there's gonna be racist Star Wars stuff said against you, and then sure enough, a week it comes out and they find all this racist stuff, which is questionable, whatever.
Oh, it was horribly questionable.
Um, but whatever, just like the last stuff. But Disney, you ruined Finn's character to kneel to China to kiss their ring. You masked up all the Black Panther people, took Finn off the posters, and you want to talk to us about racism? Fuck you.
Well, I think they actually are I wouldn't be surprised if it came out in the future that they actually caused the feedback she got. Like if they had bots or people do that, because
Well, people think that.
any press is they say bad press is good press. Any press is good press. It's
They say because she puts this out there and it's like there's no way to track it, there's no way to trace it, there's no way to know if where this came from.
and
Because
most
the
people I
same
know
thing
don't give a
happened.
shit.
The same thing happened with Rose Tico in Last Jedi. She claimed all this harassment and everything, but there was never anything found about it.
Where
Like
it
legit
came from,
shit.
you mean?
Yeah, there's nothing legit about any of it.
Yeah.
So the same thing happens here, whatever. But I'm just saying, Finn was very clearly supposed to be a main character in the new Star Wars, right? But
Oh
after
God,
Force
yeah.
Awakens, he was turned into a joke. He was nothing. He was sidelined. Well, gee, that was when the backlash with China happened. So suddenly Finn is nothing. Now he's a coward in Last Jedi. He's saddled with the worst character in the saga, off on some stupid side mission. And in Rise of Skywalker, he does absolutely nothing. He's just kind of there.
Same with Tico, and they're probably with Tico. They're probably people are probably like, well, she's Asian. I'm assuming part Asian at least, and they're probably like, well, China's Asian, but I don't
That's
think people
that's why she was.
understand that China has a whole freaking Holocaust going on over there right now with Asians.
Yeah,
I don't think. I mean, look at Hong Kong; they're done. Taiwan's going to probably be next. It's. I don't. I don't think people understand the that. I I actually think the people who are claiming racism on people are the most racist people, not understanding that not all people that have similar features are the same people.
well, of course.
I made that mistake actually while I was in New Orleans. I was now keep in mind I have French in me, so and I rip on everybody. But we were in the French Quarter in New Orleans, and I was ripping on the French. I was just being a dick. I didn't mean anything by it. And one of the guys who was with me, he goes, "You know, I'm French, right?" And I just looked at him joking, and I was kind of like, "Yeah, that's why I'm ripping on them." But I'm like, "No, I didn't. I thought you were Scandinavian." He looks like he's Scandinavian. He looks like he could be from the Northmen or whatever. And I did apologize to him a little bit because I wasn't sure. I'm like, I was being pretty bad.
Are you actually upset or?
Yeah, no, and he wasn't. He's good. He's good shit. It, but so I gotta admit, I've done it. I figured he was Scandinavian. I didn't know he was French. He looks more Irish and Scandinavian than I do, and that's what I primarily am. I mean, I do
I
have
don't know.
my
It's just
Lucky
it's just
Charm shirt on.
it's just funny how they fucking just they accuse everybody of what they're doing.
Yeah, they are absolutely the worst. It almost makes
But
you wonder if the person yelling fire is the one who maybe actually started it.
sometimes,
Hey, if you smelt it, you dealt it.
if you denied it, you supplied it.
That's right. That's why I prefer the silent but violent. And nowadays, I always hear the silent but deadly. I'm like, what? What? That doesn't even rhyme. Come on.
Oh no, but we've experienced it firsthand.
Oh, why'd my computer just yell at me? Screw it. Everything yells at me. Yeah, it's all good. What are we at here? We are at. That was a lot of Star Wars. That was well. We had a little Marvel at the end. We're gonna stop recording on this one.